It is just a scrap, let's say.
Yes, yes. Please feel free.
Just came, but would you like to stay, baby? There's no need to lament, baby. Would you like to stay? No need to lament. Oh, there is oil in the pan, baby. He's living in warm, baby. And here is the egg, baby. One chop and it breaks, baby. Just some ideas, but I was
Great, great.
juggling around the lyric. It is quite. How can I say? You can imagine the scene. It is beautiful what you wrote.
Thank you so much. I heard, how do you say, the tune or the vibe that Felipe recorded, and then I just went, and it came to me that yes, yes, meaning the tune might fit relations between students, and or between people, not about students, but yes. Thank you so much. It is beautiful.
I thank you, Eti. Okay, I was just. It's good when our hand take the guitar. So
Yes.
it
Mm.
was just
It
a little jam.
it goes by itself, yes, because there's no thinking. Just it goes, and it just there's a free pass in a way. So it's beautiful. Yesterday, Andre also played last night, and you feel that the waves, how do you say, the sound wave of the guitar, and they calm your brain, and then you fall asleep or something. It's very calming. The playing always help. It just stops the mechanical happening, technical mechanical happening, which is all the time
Even the
going on.
time, we lose the time. It is
Yes,
great. When you are playing, it's another time. It's another frame of time.
yes, yes. Any questions or thoughts on your mind, Rodrigo? Would you like to ask something, to share something? Please feel free. If there aren't any questions or thoughts, I would like to speak about it's the same topic again and again. It never changes. Is the fact that what we foresee or take is in a very deep seriousness our identity, names, our role in life is just addressing. It is as mechanical happening, and it just the thoughts that are coming around this identity name, tac 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 tac, is just like engine that moves the plot. Is it understood? Shabbat Shalom, Jill, good morning. Is it understood?
Yes.
What we perceive, yes, or what we take as identity, ego, call it whatever, is just a glove addressing that inside of this glove, the source is moving, and the running thoughts, which are happening all the time, is just in a way moving the plot of the movie forward. Those are just pictures, and the story that goes. Yes, Fernando. Yes.
After you, Eti, just to share,
Yes.
if I may, I don't want to
Sure,
interrupt
sure,
you,
sure.
Eti,
No, you're not interrupting at all.
but just to exemplify this thing that is almost impossible to kept in the mind, because it is too much, I would say. But like I said, I never had heard about Wu Wei, and in 1 week I started a book that is The Secret of the Golden Flower, that was translated. It is an ancient book from China that was translated by an I don't know how to say, a priest that was living in China and was like quite in the culture in that time, and sent to Carl Jung. So I was reading this book and came this Wu Wei in the same week you said about it, and Alessandra, my wife, also, and it starts to pop everywhere, and I am reading this book. I am almost finishing it, but it is quite beautiful. This ancient Chinese book speaks that you need to build like an body, a diamond body, let's say, which means that is transparent, that is complete transparent, and allows the light to pass through. They call the circulating light, quite familiar to what Isaac Luria speaks, all the same expression, circulating light. And it is important following this book. It is quite difficult to read, but it has so many insights because it's like a poetry. This book brings the idea that this active non-doing, this active staying, and even they bring like the idea that you need to make things but to retain at the same time, like to not finish. Almost, it is not like not finish, but not to attach too much, to not expect the result of what you are doing or things like this. You need to get in the things but not too much. It's difficult. In English, most difficult, but just to say that how crazy it is, these ideas that come, at the same time and manifest. I don't know how to explain, but it's what it is.
Yeah, thank you. It's the action that go through us, but we are not the doers. So action or movement comes through us, but we are not the, so to speak, the owners or the claimers of the action or the doing that comes through us. In this way, the passage is free. Once there is a claiming by the brain that I am the doer, let's say, of this painting. Yes, that I am the maker of this drawing. Once there is a claim of the brain, there's attachment. And once there's attachment, this is mine, meaning this is my drawing, this is my creation, and there's a bondage, yes, of self into this drawing, and we cannot dispose or relieve the page. Once there is a claiming of this book is mine, this drawing is mine, this dream is mine, there is attachment. And this is the bondage of self, because it's only a moving, so to speak, waters. Once we claim, good evening, Yanis. Not we, but the brain says, this is my dream, this is my car, this is my school. There's immediately attachment. It's like freezing in time. Once there's attachment, there's a bondage of self, there's a suffering comes with it. Because whatever goes in life does not matter. Only what matters to my car. Birds can fly, season can move, the trees are giving their fruits, but the focus of the attention is where? At my car. And if somebody scratched the car with a key, this is very often, or whatever, I have a bad mood. And I now have to search to find the right paint to. And everything is bad because there's a scratch of the car, because this is my car. There's infinite happenings all around, but once something becomes mine, book, a car, a painting, the attention goes directly there. And once the attention goes to this object, a car, a book, a school bag, everything is just locked. And there's a bondage of self. The identity is closing itself on it. And then everything is discarded. And then we find default in what we have, why the car is not good, why it's not functioning, so and so. And this creates a lot of suffering because we ignore everything else, because we just put a focus and intention on this little detail. Shabbat Shalom, Abigail. Happy to see you here. So, this is why I think it's in the East that people make mandala, like they work on it for many, many hours, many days. Maybe Fernando, would you like to elaborate about that? They can make creation for many hours, sits, days, but after it's complete, they just wipe it like it never was, not to attach to anything, not to develop any attachment to anything, not an object, not to people, and so. Is it clear? Some people, they do hoarding. They collect notebooks since they were first grader. They keep their notebooks from first grade. Some people keep their babies' diapers for generations. They have like some kind of a memory from a cotton diaper wrapping of baptism of God knows. People keep all of those things like piece of cloth or everything, and once you keep something, yes, once you keep something and says this is my collection, people might collect stamps, napkins. Now they collect cards, all kinds of cards, baseball cards, whatever. And this is mine. Yes, there is a closure on this declaration. This is my collection of stamps. This is my collection of such and such. And once we say this is mine, there's a bondage. Because everything in a way moves all the time. But once we say it's mine, there's a closure on it, it becomes a sculpture or a stone. It's not, but inside, this is mine. And then the focus and attention goes to this spot. Everything does not exist, no friends, nothing. This is my beautiful stamp collection. This is mine. This is what defines me, so to speak. Of course, me does not exist. Never was, never is, never will be. Is this understood? So every day, I would say exercising of just get rid of things. Because they're not defining us. They're not defining us at all. Everything moves all the time. Look at there's a Mediterranean Sea a few meters from here. Nothing is still. Everything is just moves all the time. We are not any different than this sea, the waters which are flowing, the move which is moving. But the brain, yes, which offers us this, I would say, a parallel story, offers us, yes, you are the one who lives here and you are the one who used to go to this school and so on. So, and it becomes rigid. It becomes like, I would say, a fortress that closes us down. Yes. And then this story is the bondage. This story is the jail because it defines the infinite inside. It judges, it defines, it creates barriers. Yes. It always tells you that you've never been good. You're always offside of things. You're never in. This is what is happening. But it's not. It's just you can move on freely. Questions? Any form of identity is a jail. Any form. It's not real. Identity is something which is not real. Why? What happens when someone is moving? I mean, stop breathing. Where this identity goes? Right? The body goes into the cemetery, to the cascade. Yeah. But where the identity? Where is the identity? It's a fabricated one. So the body goes to the cemetery, the spirit to the infinite, but identity, it's a fake. This is just a fake. None of us here, has any kind of identity. Just an example. There is an oak tree, and the oak tree has its fruit. Is it called acorn? I think in English it calls acorn. Correct me if the English is not right. Sometimes a bird, yes, or a stork, any kind of bird can just look for something to eat next to the tree and also pick this acorn. Flies away kilometers, drop this acorn somewhere, even in another continent. And after a while, the rain comes and the acorn just finds its way into the ground, and a few years or months later, there's a sprout of an oak tree. This is the happening. The bird comes, picks the acorn, flies away, dump it somewhere. Nature does what it does, and there's a sprout coming. The oak tree, nor the acorn, nor the bird, or the new sprout are telling us a story of parenthood. Not the oak tree, not the acorn, 2, not the bird, 3, not the new sprout, 4 are telling us a story of a parenthood. Is this example clear? This is also, we are not any different than this acorn that was picked by a bird. But the brain was nourished with details during the time, different details that in a way form an fictional identity, fictional story. This is not a true thing. This is not true. You know, spies, when they go for their spies missions all over the world, they get a fake passport. They get a fake identity. They color their hair. Some men, they grow beard. Some, they grow, if it's men, yes, they grow beard or mustache, or opposite, or they shave their beard or mustache, or they color it. They put sideburns. They dress all kinds of. They get a fake identity because they need to spy. Let's say in Argentina, so they color their hair. They wear different kind of shoes. They show different kinds of manner. They have a story, and they have to, how to say, rehearse their story, that it will be anchored, so to speak, in facts, that when they will be asked or maybe inquire, they used to have, they have to prepare to have their facts in order, that the story would work. But it's still a spy. It's still a spy, and this is a fictional story. Yes? There isn't any difference between the spy's cover story and our stories or our identity. There isn't any difference. It's very simple. Questions? Rodrigo, question? Jill? Yanis, Abigail, any question? Infinite, which is moving through all of us, emanates all of us, is basically emptiness. Now, you could ask, why is there a need of this fictional processing of the brain, collecting all of those details? The infinite uses this function of the brain, which is quite mechanical, like insects. If you have seen insects moving, something very mechanical. So the infinite uses this mechanism to move the plot, or the movie, which is called Our Lives or My Life. Is it clear or not? Is it clear, this example? The story of the acorn. It's the same, not story, but the example of the acorn. Yes, propagate. Yes, you say in English, propagate. Yes, in the infinite. Yes, this is what is the meaning of infinite? What is the, if I could say, the infinite is living, not an entity. There's a life in the infinite, and the life there, it's not a place, but this is what characterizes the infinite, is infinite living source. Infinite living source wishes to be manifested, to be propagated, Yes? This is it. We say living soul, sometimes we say the source, the infinite. What is the nature of this infinite? Source of life, living. Yes, 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 yes. So this infinite, yes, what? There's already a tree, there's an oak, there's next to it acorn, the bird will come and take it. And then the bird will fly, drop it, and we see another sprout. This is how infinite expresses life, as not as a noun, as a living, as an act of living. Infinite is moving through all of us all the time, emanates us. We're breathing, everything is happening inside. We are not aware of what is happening, not just in terms of just body, because body is just an object. Infinite emanates everything. The fly of a bird, where does it come from? The blossom of the tree, where does it come from? The sprout, the sun. For us, so to speak, for our eyes, those are different objects. But what is the source? What emanates them? It's everlasting living source, the infinite. Questions? For there is no lack. Whatsoever, there is no lack. If you feel conflict inside, it happens often during the day that we are conflicted, are having conflicted thoughts about any kind of issue. It's very simple. If you have like conflicted thoughts, this is the brain activity. This, I would say, it's like a fence. This is a fence. This is technically fencing. It's not a definition of life. This is a mechanical activity. That wishes to, in a way, fence us in. If we're cleaning something, if there's cleaning, let's say cats, they clean themselves. Also, this is part of nature, cleaning. But what the brain does, if there's cleaning, the brain says, you are the cleaner. Yes, it wants to fence us in into this box. Hey, you are the cleaner. Nothing else will become out of you. You are the cleaner now. Cleaning is just one of the actions of life that goes through life. Cleaning, sorting, sanitation. Yes? But those are tricks. Say there's the evening comes, there's lightning of candles. The nights are cold, and also for the atmosphere there's lightning of candles. But the brain says once you are the lighter, it always wants to fence us in and connect, so to speak, the object, which is not existing because we're not object, to the action. There is candle lightning, which is moving through. But we are not objects. There is cleaning moving. We are not cleaners. Is it understood? Questions? Why would the infinite will move? Why any kind of movement will start from the infinite? For what reason? Just yes, a movement will come. If you notice, there's someone sleeps in bed or sit on a chair for a while, and there will be a movement because the infinite would like to be manifested. Now, the infinite is not something that sits on Mars or in Venus there and like a king rules the world. As there's a tendency to think the infinite emanates all of us. So if there's suddenly a movement, infinite would like to be manifested through the movement which is moving through us. Fernando will go to steps and hold the guitar and see the lyrics, and suddenly from the infinite comes a tune, and the fingers will play, yes, some kind of a tune. The claiming would be that Fernando, how do they say, copyright or attributes? They say on a movie, attribute will say there's music by Fernando. But the truth is, there's a movement, there's a tune being heard, there's playing of the tune, there is a recording of the tune. Yes? But there's no composer. There's a playing of the tune, there's a hearing of the tune, but there is no composer, because if there is a composer, there's a claiming of, I composed this song. Doesn't matter, Bach, Beethoven, or someone. Yes? In this case, there's only movement of notes. There's only appearances, or I would say, yes, appearances of words. Poem without a poet. Yeah? Poem without a poet. There's a poem, there's a tune. We are in a way educated to think that we are the makers. But this ain't so. This is a fictional reality. A movement goes, and there are words appearing. There's reading of the words, tune appearing, playing appearing, guitar plays comes. But there's no guitar player. And if infinite wants to use us, and of course it will use us for its own purposes, which we are not aware of, a thought might come, ta 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 ta, and suddenly Rodrigo will enter the car, and Rodrigo will find himself moving somewhere because infinite moves, so to speak, through, in brackets, Rodrigo. It wants to be manifested. It's very simple. It is simpler than we think. Yes, Yanis, what would you like to ask? You can unmute and speak. Of course! Only 8 billion people, yes, but what about what about the creation? I mean, the trees are moving, they're growing, the wheat, the dolphins, the birds, everything, the streams of water, under the oceans, above the oceans, the poles, the relation between the planets, galaxies. Of course, no one is in charge. It just happens. No one is in charge, though we have fictional governments. Yes, everything is fictional. It's quite simple. Because there is no scenario which happens pro someone or against someone. It just happens. It is hard to conceive or difficult, Yanis, to conceive. What emanates life? There's a beautiful poem about the emanation of life called The Tree of Life. Once there was assembly in the Sage House, and one of the participants asked the sage, "So I can just lie in bed all day?" And the sage says, lie as much as you want. See how much you can lie down. Eventually, this infinite will move through you and you will, yes, wake up or move from the bed and you will go to do something. Because the infinite manifests through you. What will happen, how far or fast you will go, infinite will decide. How an action can be negative? How? You can also unmute and speak. I would like that you will expand because there are few words. If you could express your idea, I shall be delighted. Yes, Fernando? Would you like to unmute? Who is judging? Who decides if an action is positive or negative? There is only action. The additional positive or negative is a judgment. chill.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, good morning. How do you do?
I'm good. I do have a question. So I was just thinking about as we like as I think about this process, about like even with holding on to things, as you take in like simplify your life, is there a goal that we should just be pressing in more or focusing more on maybe listening to some prompts like if the infinite is speaking or if there's a goal like to be studying more or to be communicating more. um yeah, I just kind of have a question about that because um maybe it's just the way that I think, but I'm just wondering if there's like a goal or if there's
Mm.
something that I should be doing or something that we should be doing. That's the question. Thanks.
You're most welcome. There's life is happening in the moment. Let's say your grandchild is asking to hang a picture on the wall. Yes? Let's say they come from kindergarten and ask to hang a picture there. So in this case, we hang the picture on the wall. But life will always pop up and will stream through us. In a way, there is no goal. Life will always come and it's in the air all the time. We don't need to aim anything. We don't need to have a goal. Because when having a goal, yes, having a goal, it's again, there is a attachment in it. Because let's say someone has a goal today to drive to the next city, which is 200 miles away. This is his goal. He wants to go there. So this is the only thing on his mind, brain, and he fuels the car and he goes there. And he just want to, this is on his head, to find the fastest route, way, and nothing else. So, but then everything, and there's a claimer that this is the one who decides to arrive to this city 200 miles away. He's goal oriented. He just wants to go there. He does the necessary action. He just wants to arrive there. But in a way, everything is cancelled because he has this goal. So all universes are cancelled. Is this clear?
Yes, it does. It makes a lot of sense. It does sometimes. It is simple, and I definitely think that it's simple, and at the same time, it's like it's to wrap my head around it and like be in that state of mind all the time. It takes a little bit of focus, but it's like a much simpler way to live life. But
Yes, you don't, yes, it's simpler. It is much simple because there's a dropping of any idea what life is about.
right.
Because anyways, we cannot conceive it. I mean, the human thought is the mechanical thing cannot conceive it. Because, just an example, this one who wants to travel to Ohio, 200 miles away, let's take this example. Focus in the car, preparing of the car. Just ask him how many and he just on his head to go there. Ask him a trivial question. How many cups are in your cupboard? How many keys do you have in your key holder? How many bills do you have in your wallet if? How many cards do you have there? Once people, not just people, us, we are focused on one thing, ask someone a trivial question. How many coffee cups are in the cabinet? How many plants here in the living room? They would not know what to say. Is there a milk in the refrigerator? How many liters? How many eggs? Do you understand? Because once there's a focus in brackets on one thing, so to speak, the head is there, everything else is cancelled. The truth is that we don't really know. We live life. The only way to live life is not knowing. But we live life like as we know. We know that Ohio is 200, so to speak, miles away. Seemingly knowing. It's not real, but also. We don't know we know nothing. How many water pipes are in the building, which enabling each resident now to open the tap and fresh water will pop at any moment? We don't know. We don't know how many trees are in the boulevards. We don't know what is the relationship with bees and butterflies and birds, how many birds are nesting on each tree in which season. We don't know. It is much this, how do you say, what we don't know is bigger than what we know. What we seem to know that terms our identities is names, maybe addresses, and relation between few, 4, 5 people that defines, let's say, core family and friends, maybe. This is also moves all the time. We don't know much, and this is the truth, and this is the freedom. The brain will always offer us alternative story, like as we know. Because like mere details are circling around, claiming there's a concrete story about something, evidence against someone, against some self. But we don't know. How many drops of rain are being poured now to the sea? Nobody knows. This is the truth. We live, in a way, a very fictional life. The movie that people, let's say, if people are choosing to see a movie in the cinema or in their homes, their life is not more real than the movies. It's as fictional as the movie. It might sound awkward, or we might reject this at first because my story is better, is real than the movie. It as fictional as the movie. It doesn't matter what movie you choose to see, whether it's historical fiction, whether it's sci-fi movie, whether it's a TV series. Doesn't matter. It is quite purpose. How do you say funny? Yes, but this is how it is. We give much more weight to our story than to the movie which is running on the screen. My life is, if I don't do this, I will not have that. This is fictional, and the movie is fictional. Our life, what we perceive as my life, is fictional. It's not that there isn't any life. There is life. Yes? Life in general, but there isn't my life. This is a fictional story, this is a fictional movie, as the fictional movie that you see now in YouTube or in any streaming services. As fictional. Go, would you like to say something? What if there isn't any term which is perceived as my life? What is happening if there isn't the term my life? Who is supposed to die? Who is the deceased? If there isn't a term my life, who is the deceased? You see? It's fiction. Everything is fictitious. It's funny. This is the relieving message. Any questions? Thank you for participating in this beautiful conversation today. Wishing you Shabbat Shalom, good week, and see you soon. Toda.